everyone, Happy New Year! Welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be recreating this collaboration set that I did with the Glitter Girlz. Let me zoom in here so you can see. It is a set of New Year's nails that I did. And I will just be going step by step through each nail. I used a lot of stamping plates. All the products that I used in this set will be listed in the description box below. I'm going to come back with my practice set of nails already set up with the base coats that we need to recreate this set. And I'll be right back. I have gone ahead and prepared this set of nails to fit our design. I've got base coat, 2 coats of the color, and a no wipe top coat on each of these nails. The first nail we're going to be doing is our 2020 nail, which is the thumbnail. And we're going to be using Moyu stamping plates to create this nail. Let's see. Push this on here firmly so that I can work with it. I've got Moyu plate number 05. It's got a bunch of designs. We're going to be using both of these. Bits and pieces of each one to combine to make this set. And I've got Moyu's Festive plate number 65. We're going to be using the 2 and the 0 up here to create the 2020 on this nail. Let me put my gloves on. Stamping again can be a mess. So I like to put gloves on to protect my hands. And it makes for easier cleanup without having to have stamping polish all up into your nails. So as you can see on this nail, 2020 just comes straight down the middle of the nail. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Get our stamper ready. We're going to be using gold stamping polish and clear jelly stamper. I will list all of the products used in this video in the description box. Shake this up really well. Everything is ready. Get my cleanup pad. Take the polish. And the technique again I like to use is polish in one direction, scrape in the opposite direction, and roll in another direction to pick up the image. So I'm polishing from left to right. Be liberal with the amount of polish you have. Take your scraping card, scrape in the opposite direction. In this case it's left to right. Take your stamper, immediately pick up the image. I've got a solid 2 on there. I'm going to remove anything I don't need, which is the 1 and the little line that came out underneath. So all I'm left with is the 2 on the stamper. Take that, position it under your nail. Right in the middle, a little lower down because we have that confetti on the top of the nail. Press it down. There you have it. Clean your plate. Take some acetone. Clean off my plate. Make sure it's dry. Take my stamper on a lint brush, in this case a lint pad, clean it off so that it's nice and clear, ready to go. Take your stamping polish, same technique, left to right, right to left, or up or down, down to bottom, or down to top. Scrape in the opposite direction, whatever way. Hold your plate firmly, roll, picked up a solid 0. You can see that very good. Take your nail, look through the stamper, position yourself, press it down, roll it off. I've got half of my 2020. I'm going to speed through this next part, let you watch what I'm doing, and I'll come back with some audio when I'm finished with this. And there you have it. I've stamped the full 2020 design. Let me zoom in a little so you can see this. Oops. Nice and clear down the middle of the nail. The next step is going to be putting on the tinsel that surrounds it. And I have a little trick for this, and it's as simple as applying a no wipe top coat only where you want the tinsel to appear. So if I get my nail and I get my no wipe top coat, and in this case I'm using Madam Glam's no wipe top, I only want the tinsel to appear to the right and left of the 2020. So I'm going to carefully just polish down those two sides. And you do not cure the polish. Down the side, across the top. Down this side. Nice even coat. So now the tinsel, I'm going to be using holographic tinsel. It's here. When you sprinkle it on, I'm going to get a second paper towel and put it here to catch all of the tinsel so that doesn't get all over my stamper. Move everything out of the way. Put down my paper towel. Take the nail carefully. It's not cured yet. And this time, instead of using my, since I still need, I don't want to have to keep taking my gloves on and off, I'm going to take makeup brush and simply hold the nail and sprinkle some of the tinsel over the nail. And it's only going to stick to the part that has the no wipe top coat. I don't want it oversaturated, I just want to give a hint of the holographic tinsel. And now the tinsel's kind of stayed on top of this paper towel. I'm going to stick this in the lamp and I'll be right back for the next step. When I'm back, I have cured this nail. If you notice, there is no glitter down the center of the nail, only on the sides where I had put the no wipe top coat. And that was our goal. The next part we're going to do is to put some streamers at the top of the nail. And the reason why I didn't stamp them first and then do the tinsel was because the tinsel tends to cover these up, and I kind of want them to show a little bit. And all I'm going to do is we're going to use this little image right here, which is streamers, confetti streamers. And we're going to just do a layer of white and a layer of silver. Now I just take my no wipe top coat, apply a thin layer over the top of it to seal it all in. Your image will not smudge, or at least it doesn't with the clear jelly stamping polishes. Again, all the products will be in the description. You've got nice streamers. I did a little bit of an offset with the streamers. I didn't want it to polish straight over the white streamers because then the silver would hide them. So I've got silver and white with a slight offset of the stamper. Just shift your stamp a little bit to your right or left, whatever you prefer. We'll stick this in the lamp, and then this nail is done. So I'm back, and this nail is completed. It looks just like the original nail. The 2020 tinsel, confetti, good to go. The next nail we're going to be working on is this nail here. It's just got some fireworks and crystals. We're going to use the stamping plates again. This large one here is this one. The one next to it is this one here. This little one down here is this one here. And there's also a piece of the larger fireworks down here. And I'll show you how to apply that. The same technique applies. We'll be using gold first. You can even go ahead and load the silver one, that way it's already on the stamper, but I prefer to do them separate only because if the images are so close together you might end up stamping the nail with two images at once, and I'd rather not do that. So we apply left to right. Scrape right to left. Wipe it off. Roll the stamper. Pick up huge fireworks. It's a little smudged, but I think that will be okay. And it's great party now. Oops. So you take this, and it is partially. So the part that's smudged is going to be off the nail anyway. So you catch the big part of the firework onto the nail, roll, and there you have it. Firework on a nail. I will continue stamping the rest of the fireworks on this nail, just like this one, and then we'll come back to do a couple of crystals. And there you have it. All of the stamps created to cover the nail with different firework designs. Take bits and pieces from the different fireworks, apply it to the nail, and then what we will do is take our crystals, pour a few out. I'm going to pour it into the lid of the stamper just because it doesn't have any of those little creases. And I just want a couple that I could choose from. There we have it. Those are the stones we're going to put on the nail. Now for this, I don't need any sugar because we can cure this quickly and they won't slide anywhere. So I'm just going to take some of Madame Glam's No Wipe Top Coat, which I have to put on the nails anyway to seal in the design. And I will completely saturate that nail to cover my stamping design. And if we do this correctly, put enough pressure on the stones, they should stick to the nail and not shift too much before we put them in the lamp. I'm going to take the big one and put it in the center of this big firework that we have here. Come on, let go. There we go. And I'm going to take a medium-sized one and put it here in between this one. And then we're going to take some little ones and put them in the center of the other ones, the other fireworks. Let's see if I have empty spaces. There's an empty space right about here. I think it deserves one, and maybe somewhere down at the beginning or at the front of the nail. There you have it. Once you decide, cure. I'll be right back with clean up my mess and show you the finished nail. And I'm back. I've cured the nail. It now has the stones, and let's see if you can see it glittering, shining, sparkling, all the fireworks, and we're done with that one. Now the next nail was going to be the tuxedo nail. I'm going to leave that one for last, and actually I'm going to do that one after I do the pinky. The next one I'm going to do is the pinky because it is extremely simple. It's just a stamp design with the gold polish. When I was originally designing these nails, I used this Happy New Year, and when I picked up the design, it picked up some of these lines and stars here, and I thought that at the bottom of the nail that looked great, so I kept it on the stamper. And then I picked up the second part of the design from the bottom again so that I could flip it over and use it on the top of the nail by the cuticle area. So we ended up with reversed shooting stars. So that's what we're going to do. And this nail is pretty much done. I'm going to apply a no wipe top coat to the nail to seal in the design, put it in the lamp, and add it to my collection over here. And I'm going to clean up my area, ready to come back and do the tuxedo nail. Okay, so I'm back. I've cleaned up my area, and there is the third nail. That was the quickest of them all because it was just simple stamping. And we're going to work now on the, tuxedo nail. I've got my bow tie ready, my 3 little buttons. The nail is ready. It has a white base. We're going to first polish the black gel polish on it. Madame Glam's Perfect Black Polish. Again, all the products will be listed. And I have a little bit of a hack that I like to do. And it's using Scotch tape. I take the Scotch tape and the highest point of where you want the tuxedo to be, I put a piece of tape all the way across so that it's even on both sides. So if you get your first tape on straight, let me get on top of this nail here. Right about there is where I want to put the black. So I put the tape. That's just to mark where I have to stop. Then you pinpoint the center of the nail. You can even mark it if you want. You can do it with a thin Sharpie. You can do it with a dotting tool, which is what I will use in this case, because I can just put a simple dot, and then when I do the gel polish, I'll cross right over it. And we have this gold line as well that's going to cover that up. So that's where I take my tile out, just to put a tiny dab of polish. So I don't like dipping into the bottle with the dotting tool, and I don't like trying to get it off the brush. Just as simple as this. The center of the nail is right about here. So you come straight up and put a little dot. That's my center point. The other center point is here. And here. So if you were to look at the nail, you can see it's got a triangle on it. I'll wipe this off. Set that aside. We're going to use that. We're going to use this tool to do the gold line. I know people use a detailer brush, but I like the fact that the dotting tool is extremely firm and the point of it is so thin that you can take a tiniest bit of polish and create your line. Whoops. Let's put these back. I didn't mean to knock that over. Now, take your gel polish, just the slightest amount, just so that you can kind of get your outline going. Then you can fill it in afterwards. So I want my brush to be thin and sharp. And I take and I do a straight line, straight from one dot to the other. Make sure that I'm in frame for this. Okay. I take from one dot, let me get everything out of the way. So I need to be steady-handed for this. Okay. Take this and zoom in a little so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. You hold the nail firm. Give yourself a nice base to lean on. And you just polish from one part of the nail to the other. It might be a little sloppy, but that's okay. As I said, we're going to put the gold over it. And then you do the same. Pinpoint from one part of the nail down to the center. Refine your line. polish. You can put a second coat if your first coat's too thin. Being that there's white polish under this, I'm going to probably do a second coat. There you have it. You take the tape off. I like to pull in the direction of the polish so it doesn't smear in the opposite direction. Done. I've got my tuxedo base started. Discard the tape. I'll be right back. I'm going to apply the second coat of black. And I'm back. And I did the second coat. And so, as you can see, I refined the line a little bit. Just carefully brushing. And now we're going to go in and create the gold border for that black. And I just used simple stamping polish. The same stamping polish that we used when we did the stamping on the nails, because then it would match. I have other gold polish I could have used, but it was a slightly different color gold, and I'd rather use the same polish. It doesn't dry, it dries quickly, so you kind of have to be quick, but I just put a bigger blob on my tile, and that helps. Bigger blob. Takes longer to dry. And I take the smallest dotting tool I have, which is this one. Take the point of that, and basically, you could use a detailer brush again, but detailer brushes for me, I'm not used to them just yet, and when I use them they tend to move. This is solid, so I just basically apply some polish on the end of it, anchor myself, and then draw, just like you would with a pencil. You use less polish, you put less of a line. You create a thinner line, and then you can always go and thicken it up. Plus, it's easy to clean up. We have a no wipe top coat on top of the black and white, so anything that I need to clean up with this stamping polish is going to be fairly simple. You just get a cleanup brush and go in and refine the edges. Just draw it on, just like you would a pencil. Like I said, I have a little bit more control with this than I do with brushes. Eventually I'll get used to using art brushes. And I have some that work really, really fine details, but for the purpose of this design, this works just fine. There you have it. Let me zoom in, see if you can see it better. There you go. So now I'm just going to clean up the edge. I'll take my acetone, clean off my dotting tool, and my hand. I just tapped my hand with it. Move the tile out of the way. I have a little bit in my dapping dish. Dab it a little. And now I'm going to just take this and just refine the edge just slightly. There we go. Cleaned up. Good to go. I'm going to apply no wipe top coat, and I'll be back to apply the stones and finish this nail. Alright, I'm back, and I've applied a no wipe top coat to the nail. I've got my bow tie and buttons ready to go, and this is going to be as simple as the other nail was when we applied the bling. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my flash cure light, because I need to set this. It's not going to make it into the lamp in time. So I have a little flash cure light. Let me fix this one stone that's a little too high. You could use rhinestones, you could use red stones, contrast. Let me set this in place for a minute. Oh, did it shift again? That's on there already. Love Madame Glam polishes. Look how fast it set that. Flash cure. And now I'll get it in the lamp for the full 30 seconds. And then we'll come back for the reveals. Okay, I'm back. I cured the nail after applying the stones and the bow tie. And it's done. Now we're going to move on to the clock nail. I left that one for last because that one involves a little more detail work. So what I did is I took this image here from my stamping plate just to give myself the basis of the shape of the clock, so I wouldn't have to sit there and try to draw a circle. Take the gold, because it has a gold border anyway, so if some of it sticks out under, it's quite alright. Left to right, do my stamping. Left to right. Doesn't matter if you don't pick up the hand of the clock, just the border. Mostly the border is what you're looking for to create the circle. Left to right, right to left. Pick up your image, and there we have it. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just giving me the shape of the circle. I'm more concerned with the inside of the clock because you can refine the edge just like we did with the tuxedo nail when you apply the gold border around it. I'm looking more to figure out up to what point I have to polish the nail with the white gel paint. So now I'm going to position the clock right where I want it to be. I want to leave room for the 12 o'clock mark. Not too high, not too low. Center it. And there we have it. It's on the nail. So now I have a basis to start my clock. I don't need this little piece right there. I can actually just scrape that off. There we go. And it still has a border kind of started on it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply a no wipe top coat to this, and I'm going to fill in the circle portion with Young Nails Mission Control Fizz. It's their white gel paint. I like to use this gel paint when I have to do detailed art with white because it's so pigmented. It's extremely pigmented and nice and thick. You can control your application. I'll show you briefly just how it applies, and then I'll refine the edges and come back. I'll do the rest of it off camera so you can see. Take my brush. I have this really cute retractable brush from Model 1's. It's a gel brush. And basically, you paint the circle. It's nice and thick. It doesn't even drip off. Got some on my finger. You polish it on. You can see it's highly pigmented. It'll probably take 2 coats. But I'm bringing it all the way out to this border here. My primary concern with this first coat is to establish where the circle is. Even if it's not exactly smooth. I'm going to stick this in the lamp for 60 seconds, apply a second, possibly a third coat. I will let you know when I'm done, and I'll be back. And I'm back, and it did take only one more coat of the Young Nails Mission Control paint. Smooth application. I floated the gel paint across the nail, so it filled in all those little gaps, so it's nice and smooth. The next thing we're going to do is to stamp the 12, the 6, and the 9 on the nail. I'm going to go ahead and use the same stamping plate where I got the fireworks and the 2020 design from. The numbers are down here and they're small enough that we could use them. And there you have it. 12, 6, and 9. And then we have one last thing to get, and that's the little hand that's on the clock. And the stamping plate where I got the original clock from is where I'm going to pull that hand from. It'll even mark the center of where our stone has to go in the center of the nail. And we have the starting basics of our clock. Let me clean this up. Off camera, I'll be right back so that we can work on that border. We're going to use the same technique that we used when we did this tuxedo nail with the dotting tool and the gold stamping polish. Be right back. I'm back. And what I did is I did go ahead and put a no wipe top coat over this nail to protect the clock hand in numbers in the event that when I'm doing the border, if I make a mistake, I can wipe it off. But I didn't want to ruin everything that I did up till now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same technique we did earlier when we created the V, the gold V on the tuxedo nail. Take a blob of the gold stamping polish, enough to create a border. If it dries up, you can add a little more. I'm going to speed this part up since you already watched me do it with the V. Zoom in a little so you can see better, and we'll take care of this. Sorry about some of that if it was out of frame. It pretty much takes care of it. I'm going to clean up the edge off camera, clean up my mess, and apply a no wipe top coat so that we can go to the next step, which is putting the stones on. I'll be right back. I'm back. I went ahead and cleaned up the edges a little bit and applied a no wipe top coat to the whole design just to seal that in. And now we're going to be applying some crystals. We need a tiny crystal. I did black one for the center and tiny ones to distinguish the hour hands for 1, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. I've already taken the liberty of separating those out. And I'm going to use a simple no wipe top coat again. And when I'm putting these top coats in between, they're thin layers because I don't want to bulk up the nail. I just want to protect the design. So this last one has to be just a little bit thicker, only so that it could secure the stones. So I apply no wipe top coat over the entire nail, making sure that it's evenly covered. And then we will apply our stones. I will go ahead and fast forward this portion as well. And there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and cure this design. Put this on the demonstration base. And we'll be right back. And there you have it. The full set of New Year's nails. New Year's nail design. The thumb, 2020, fireworks, tuxedo, the clock, and the Happy New Year nail. That's the complete set. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, share the video on social media. I'll be having a lot more demonstrations like this. I'm going to have a stamping section aside from the collaboration section, as well as some reviews, unboxing videos which are coming up soon. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a Happy New Year. Thank you very much for watching. Until we see you in the next video. Bye.